Hi everybody, thanks for stopping by and clicking on this video. Today I thought I would go through the gear I use on my Wonderland Trail. Been off the trail about 10 days, been home about a week, and I've been needing to go through my backpack since then, and I haven't got it. Life got busy, went back to work, all that stuff, so I'm going to go through it with you as I unpack it. Luckily it's not smell-o-vision because it's been in here for about 10 days, so some of the stuff is probably pretty smelly, but any of you getting ready to do the Wonderland Trail coming up, I hope this will be helpful. Or if you're looking at some other trail, maybe you'll find something of use in here, something that you hadn't thought about, right? The difference between an overnight backpack and one lasting months, it's the amount of food you carry, right? My wife always makes fun of me about getting all my gear ready, but you know, you need the same stuff, basic stuff for an overnight as you do for going out for 10 days. So let me go ahead and go through my pack here with you. If you do have any questions about any gear, put it down in the comments below. I'll try to get to it. I'm not always the best about doing that right away, but I'll try to answer any questions. So follow along with me. First of all, Wonderland Trail, it's in Washington State around Mount Rainier. It's about 92 miles. I took my time. Originally, I had a 12-day itinerary because the way it's a lottery system and the way things worked out for campsites, I had to take 12 days to get the itinerary on. Then when I went up there the day before, you can get your permit, and then you can get walk-up permits. So I ended up with a really good itinerary. I was really happy. It's 12 days. I never had to do more than 10, 11 miles a day, which was really nice. It did cause some food carry issues. I had an 8-day carry, something like that. So that was a little bit long, but other than that, it was a great trip. So sit back, let me go through this. Let's start with the pack. This is the HMG Southwest. I'm pretty sure it's the 50 liter in medium. They just came out with some new versions of this. I'm thinking about getting another one. I want to get in black this time. I'd like to actually get the old version if I can find a good deal on that. But this pack is great. It's basically one big compartment. Then it's got a huge outer pack and two really nice sides, as well as on it two good hip belts. The other thing you'll see that I've added to this is I made a water bottle carrier. I think I have a video how I made this. That way it makes it really easy. I don't have to stop to sip. I just rotate the drinking straw in there and it makes it really easy. And then I also have a phone case, which is really nice for keeping the phone in. I kept my mini tripod in here, which I'm using right now to record this with, so you won't see it. Bandana on the outside. The only thing I didn't really like was this was up a little high. I need to drop it down a little bit. And then I also carried with me a Zoleo device for communication. I use this mainly for the quick check-in buttons during the day. What surprised me is I ended up using my iPhone a lot. The satellite messenger worked really good. Sometimes it took a couple minutes to connect up, but I was always able to communicate with them. I'm not really ready to get rid of the Zoleo yet. I don't have 100% confidence in the iPhone, but I've used it a few times now, a few different trips, and it's worked really good. All right, so we'll start on the side here. On the side, this side, I kept a 1 liter smart water bottle. I took 2 of those with me. Most of the time I didn't need more than a liter and a half. I think the longest stretch of that water was like 6 or 7 miles and wasn't too bad. I also will carry either 1 or 2 buffs in here. I carried 1 and then I found 1, so I ended up carrying 2. I have no idea where that is. On the other side then, this is where I kept my 2 things. One, oh, there's the other buff, and then my water system. For my water system, I use the Sawyer Squeeze, the full-size one. It worked really good for me. And then I also had the CNOC, the 3 liter. This is actually the heavier duty one. I had one of the normal 3 liters spring a leak on me after a couple trips this spring, so I went with the heavier one, and this worked great. In here, I also carried just a few spare things. Let's see, I had a couple extra bottle caps because I always lose those. I did have some bleach in a dropper bottle just in case the Sawyer went bad on me. I've had that happen in the desert where it gets clogged up a lot, so I had some bleach backup. And then I also, of course, had 1 or 2 O-rings in there as well, because you never know when you're going to lose those. The other thing actually I kept in here, which came in really handy, was just an extra quart-size Ziploc bag. And I ended up using this Once at one of my campgrounds when I had to scoop water. I didn't want to walk back down half mile or so, so I scooped up water, and that worked really well. So that was a trick I picked up from a guy who goes by the name of P Mags out of Utah. Suggested using that. So now on the big part here, this is your permit, and the Wonderland Trail you have to have your permit out at all times so rangers can check you. And I probably got checked 3 or 4 times on the trail. So it's good to have it on there, held on with a carabiner. That way at night you can take it off, that's what they tell you to do, and put it on the outside of your tent in case they check you in camp. It's right there, they don't have to bother you. I did get checked in camp probably about half time. I have my friend Archie here, Archie Jr. actually. Archie's been with me on all my big trips, the John Muir Trail, the Colorado Trail, Centennial Trail. He's my mascot, so he's always comes along. He's always with me on day hikes. Just my hiking, our family mascot. I did carry some camp shoes. These are the Zeros. I'm not sure what version of the paracord ones. They're really kind of flimsy. By flimsy, bendable, you can bend them really easy. The only thing I did not like about these is I have sensitive feet, so whenever I stepped on something like a rock, I could feel it pushing through there. They were nice to have in camp. They weren't necessary. I could have got away with my trail runners, but they were nice to put on. I never had to use them to cross water or anything like that. If I were to take them again, another shoes, I'd have a pair of the Zero Trails, which are pretty nice, or I also had the Bedrock Karens, which are probably a little heavier than the Zero Trails, but they were nice to have, not necessarily one thing I could leave at home to save a little bit. Okay, what else is in here? Okay, I always would carry a food bag. This is a really small one because this was just from the last. Usually I'd have a gallon Ziploc in there, which look, I probably, I don't have it in here, which I'd have food in there that I kept. I had some beef sticks, some cheese, stuff like that, some wheat thins. I'd keep those in there for my lunch snacks. Just made it nice and easy. I also during the day would keep my first aid kit in here. I know compared to a lot of people this is pretty big. I have things like Tylenol, ibuprofen, Band-Aids, needles, threads. I have some medications that I need. The one thing I did forget that really kind of irritated me, I forgot my toenail clipper. I always have a toenail clipper with me, but for some reason it didn't get packed. But this is just in one of those OPSAC bags. Works really good. And then I had some gear, weather gear. This is the OR Helium 2 rain jacket. I had to wear this one day, I think. Actually, one day I put it on, had it on for about 5 minutes, and then took it off because the rain stopped. I also had a pair of the, in here, OR Helium 2 rain pants. These I didn't have to use because it never got that rainy. The one day we did have a bunch of rain, I was already in my tent. But these are really nice, same material, lightweight. I'd rather have them and not need them than need them and not have them. The other piece of gear I debated a lot about bringing or not, and I'm glad I did, is the Patagonia Houdini jacket. I had this on the Colorado with me trail. I take it some old trails, and this thing is great, especially in the morning when it's a little cool. You can put this on, warms you up, keeps the wind off, and it works great. I think that's something I've decided that I will always take with me. It's always something I debate about, but I think it's worth its weight. And the other thing I kept in here, just in case, a knee brace. Occasionally I have some knee issues, didn't have that. And then I also have an ankle brace. Didn't need either of them, but I like them to have them on the outside here for quick access. Okay. The other thing I would occasionally carry on the outside was my journal, and I did it in one of these U.S. Post Office Tyvek envelopes, and that worked really good. I thought I was going to write during the day, I kept it on the side. If not, I would put it inside. The last thing on my pack here then is about a half of a Thermarest ridge rest. Okay, I did not use this as my sleeping pad. I did actually use it underneath my sleeping pad, but this was really nice and easy, fit up top, easy to get out, fold up, it breaks. I've used the Gossamer Gear one before. And it's nice. I still have a brand new one downstairs, but I think I'm gonna go with a ridge rest from now on. I really like that. I like the way it folded. It didn't take up too much space on my pack. So pretty good. All right, let's go ahead and get into the pack. I'm not sure what order this is because I had to, once you get back to your car, you gotta dig through everything to find your car keys, stuff like that. So I'm not sure what I guess I did have some hand sanitizer. I never used this. I ended up using my other hand sanitizers in my poop kit, and I had another one somewhere. So let's go ahead and open this up. First thing on top, this usually wasn't on top, but it was this time, is my Enlightened Equipment tour jacket. I actually bought this used. I would buy a brand new one of these. These are really nice. I slept in it 2 or 3 nights, and I would wear it in the evening or early morning. I never needed it during the day. I also have just a pair of gloves in here, and then a little beanie in there to keep my head warm. I think I wore the beanie one night as well. Never got the gloves out. What else? Oh, this was a new purchase for this trip. This is the Hilltops Pack large food bag. It's made of Dyneema. I really liked it. I was a little worried about it because the straps right here, it's just a thin piece of, I don't even want to call it webbing. It's almost like gross grain, rolled up. And most times this will be fine. The problem is on the Wonderland Trail, you're hanging your food on bear poles, which are really cool, big metal pole, and they have rebar coming off the top, and they have handles. So I had to hang it by this. And when I had that 7-8 day food carrier, I was a little worried that it was going to break through, but this did really good. I like the color. I thought when I got it, I thought it was going to be a little small. I ordered a large one. I thought they messed up, but this did carry 7 days of food, 7.5 days of food, pretty well in there, and worked well. So, do you need it? No. Was it just something to buy because that's the way I am sometimes? Yes, but it is a good quality one. All right. I did use this a lot. This is the Mountain Hardware. I think it's their Summit Grid quarter zip hoodie. This thing was great. I wore this almost every night to bed. I wore it a couple times hiking. I really highly recommend it. The other one I have is the Patagonia R1 Air hoodie, which I really love too. It's just heavier than this, so I went with this one. I got it at the Columbia Warehouse or the outlet store for a really good price. All right, so let's see what else I have. This is my Diddy bag, and I will go through this in just a little bit more closer detail for you. I'm going through the big stuff now. As far as my cooking setup, I had my bag's about ready to break here. I had the Toke 750 millimeter titanium pot. You guys have all seen this. Seen these probably before. And then this is the GSI mug. I just brought this because I like the measuring on it. I also found it handy. I would do brought some extra ramen packets that you pour in. That made a really nice drink on when it was cool. I'm not a coffee drinker, so I use that. There's 750. For the stove, I went with, brought the MSR Pocket Rocket. Worked really good. No complaints about that. Also the mini Bic lighter, part of a chamois, and then a scrub brush. Yeah, these all need cleaned out. Don't let your stuff sit for that long. What's next? Oh, this was my poop kit. It's in the Eagle Creek packet bag. Could I have done a Ziploc baggie? Sure, I just like this. Nice thing about the Wonderland Trail is you don't need your trowel. Every campsite has bathroom, so I was able to take care of that at each site. But I did bring this just in case. This is the generic version of the Vargo Dig. I love this trowel. It really cuts through stuff. And then I ended up using these dude wipes. I didn't dry them out like I usually do. There were 18 in them to make it easy. Flushable wipes, mint chill. I'd like to find these without the eucalyptus smell to them, but they work really good. I had one of those or 2 of those in each resupply. And then also the other thing I kept in here on the side was a lighter back from the days, left over from the days when we used to burn our toilet paper, not anymore. Obviously, hand sanitizer is the one I made. And then I also had some dog waste bags in here in case I had to go to the bathroom outside of the camp area. I could put them in the dog bags and take it and get rid of it later. But that was really nice having restrooms at all the campsites. Oh, it's gonna be nasty to clean. This is the Nalgene canteen. This is like a 48 ounces approximately. Great pee bag at night. I use this pretty much every night or every morning when I didn't want to get out of tent. Made it really nice and easy. You can sleep in a little longer. I did rinse it. I have an MSR IsoPro. I had a small one to start with for only 4 days, and then, like I said, 7 8 days carry. This one is still probably feels full. I probably could have got away with just a small one because all I was doing was boiling, 1 pot of water a day, mostly 2 cups. Occasionally, if I was going to have a beverage, I needed a little more, but that worked pretty good. Keep going through this. Oh, my sleeping pad. This is the Nemo Tensor, regular wide. Really like this. Really comfortable. I think the key for me is not overblowing it, keeping it a little soft. I am a side sleeper, so occasionally, if I get too soft, I can feel my hips hitting the ground, but if it's not soft enough, it's too bad. It's too hard. But this worked really good. I highly recommend it. Not very noisy. All right, my tent. This in here is the 6 Moon Design Lunar Soul. I love this tent. First one I had, it's my second one. First one I had, I bought used off one of the Facebook groups, and that got me all the way through the Colorado Trail, a couple of other backpacking trips. I still have it downstairs. I was just ready for a new one because it was getting a little old, so I got this in gray. This, I think, is a incredible tent. It's a 1 person, more like a 1.5 person. Really easy to set up with 1 trekking pole. It takes 6 tent stakes. I had the Durston X Mid for about a year. I just didn't like it. I never could get the pitch right. This was really easy to get the pitch right. If I'm ever solo, this is a tent I will take. It's a great tent. All right, almost there. Let's see. This was in here. This is the Sea to Summit bag. I have my clothes that I brought. I'm going to go through that in just a minute when I go through my Diddy bag as well, so we'll come back to that. And then I think the final thing that's in here is my sleeping bag. This is, I have it in the Sea to Summit evac dry sack. Nice thing about these is you can squeeze them down once it's up and it'll let air out. It's not supposed to let air in, but it does. My sleeping bag is it's a quilt. It is Enlightened Equipment. It's a 20-degree wide, I think, regular length. Great quilt. I finally am going to wash this. I know I probably should have washed it before. I've had this for a long time. This went through the Colorado Trail, a bunch of other stuff with me. But it's starting to feel a little clammy on the inside. It's a 20-degree. I slept warm enough most nights. So I'm going to give it a good washing here next day or so, and then hopefully that'll revive some of it. If not, if I have to replace it, I will get almost the exact same one. This is the one that has the zipper foot box. I never open this up, so next time I'm going to get the one with the closed foot box. It'll save me, what, half ounce, something like that, if that. But I never open this up, so great sim bag. All right, I think that is everything. Oh, one last thing in here. I did have a trash compactor bag, and I started off the first couple days with using this, and then the weather was supposed to be really good, and this is Dyneema, so it's supposed to be waterproof. So I just kept this in the bottom of it. I actually ended up almost turning that into an air pump sack for my sleeping bag, and we'll talk about that why in just a minute. Other things, let's see what I have here. Oh, my hiking poles with a black diamond. I think they're the Trail cork. Really like these. I can't say enough. If you're going to backpack or hike, get the flick locks. Don't get the screw-ons. A little duct tape on there. I think I needed this once. Oh, I did for my ground tarp for my tent. I put a piece on there so I know which side to put up every day. These lasted me probably 3-4 years, and they're still really good. Might be thinking about possibly changing the tips out. They're getting a little soft, but they still look like they have lots of life on them. As far as other things I have with me, I hiked in Topos, and I don't honestly remember if these are the Ventures or the Ultra Ventures. I think I have both pairs. I got one of our local shops closed up, and I got some good deals on them. The other thing I do like to have are Dirty Girl gaiters. I always hike in these. It just keeps my feet feeling fresher. There are not as much dirt running in there. And then socks on here. These are a pair of Cabin Suns. I really like these. They're merino wool. I also had a pair of Darn Toughs. We'll talk a little bit more about that on food when I get into my Diddy bag. All right, so let me pause here, move the camera just a little bit so I can go into my Diddy bag and show you what is in there. So here's my Diddy bag, possible bags, whatever you want to call it. And in here, the Nightcore, the original NU25, the new version of it. Only used this a couple times. It's summer, so I didn't have to use it. I always keep a little cord with me just in case. I actually ended up using this one night to hang my pack in the one shelter I stayed at. Other thing I like is this is a Corkology cork ball. Really good for rubbing out the feet. I've had some plantar fasciitis problems recently, so I used that. It was really good. I also use it to rub on my shoulders. And then I brought, depending on which section it was, I brought 2 chargers. The first section, which was only 4 days, I just brought a little 10,000 milliamp one that I got at Sam's Club years ago. It lasted me the whole time, or at least the first section I was able to recharge it. And then the second one I just saw recently, this is called an NU one. It was 20,000, and this did last me the whole part of my 7-8 day carry that I had the second time. So 20,000 got me through. Mainly charging my watch a couple times, my phone every night. I think I had to do my Zoleo one or 2 times as well. All right, I did carry actually this charger. I probably should have put this in my resupply box so I didn't have to pick it up, carry it with me the whole time, but it made it nice and easy. Let's see. I saw this somewhere recently. This is slime peel and stick patches. Got these up at Walmart. Somebody suggested these for repairs for your inflatable mattress. I thought it was a cool idea, so I grabbed those. Didn't need it, luckily. And then I just have, this is my kind of possibles. Once again, I got another lighter in there. I always carry an extra buckle. I had one of those break on me once, so I carry that. And then some tenacious tape in here in case anything really rips. This stuff is great. You can also use this to patch sleeping bags as well. So, pretty good stuff. And I do actually have a real sleeping pad kit in there, so pretty simple there. And then my one piece of gear that failed on me. This was, what's this? The Flextail, that 1.2 ounce pump. As you can see right here, this is where my finger's pointing, is where you turn it on and off. The button got pushed in, it's in here somewhere, jammed in there, and it broke. A couple days I was able to make it work, use my Swiss Army knife, MacGyvering it and pushing that in, but it's pretty much dead now. Very disappointed in this. I almost didn't bring it because it was loose. I thought I had problems with it before. I probably would have bought a different Flextail pump. I'm going to see what I can do about that. It worked okay. It was slow when it worked. It worked okay. It was slow. The nice thing is you can leave it on there and walk away. The other Flextail I have, which is one of the older ones, you can't walk away, but I usually don't walk away anyway. So I don't know if I'd recommend this or not. I may try to get another one and see how it is, see if they'll replace it. But these are about 50 bucks, so pretty much disappointed in this, the quality. Then the only other thing that I had in here, kept on the side, was a bunch of cables. Eventually, I'm really excited when everything I own goes to USB-C, but my watch is a Garmin Instinct original one. It has its own. The Zoleo is not a USB-C yet, so I had a little bit of stuff in there that I had to deal with. So that's why so many cords. All right, last thing we go through is the clothes that I had, or at least those that I packed. So let's talk about that. So as I said, I kept my extra clothes here in this Sea to Summit bag, and finally, after 30 plus years of backpacking, I didn't bring too much in the way of clothes. So let's go through this. Some of my stuff I wore most of the time is in here, some of it's not. So in there, I brought, this is a Thermarest pillow. You can put your stuff in there, your clothes in there, and wear it. It was okay. I have one that I made that I actually think I like a little better, just the way things go in there, but that was in there. The shirt I wore every day except for the last day. Ooh, it's outside. Let me turn it inside out real quick. Sorry. is this is the Mountain Hardwear Crater Lake hoodie. This is a great shirt. I love this shirt. I have a bunch of these. I'll probably be hiking these for a long time. Very comfortable. It's a little smelly right now because it's been in there 10 days. I carried 2 extra socks. These are just a pair of REI socks that are pretty comfy for sleeping. That's all I wore them for. I can hike in them if I need them, but I didn't need to. As far as pants, I ended up bringing a pair. These are Patagonia Terraborns. They're nice. I'm not crazy about jogger pants because my calves are a little big and I like them a little bit looser, but these worked really good. I ended up sleeping in these most nights, mainly not because it was cold, but I have a tendency to get sweaty. My legs get sweaty, and so if I have this on, it makes it more pleasant sleeping. All right. That's about in here then. This is the scary part. I'm not going to open this. I had an extra pair of boxers. I had a microfiber towel to wipe down the tent. I used this for bathing a couple times. And then I had a pair of darn tough socks. And that was all the extra clothes I brought. I did hike in a pair, they were either Brooks or Asics 5-inch running shorts, which I really like. So I think this time I finally got everything pretty well dialed in after 30 some years.